Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's this time of the week that we like to say, welcome to Eejits of the World! With you,
Glenn Wall, and you,
Andrew Maxwell. And what a cornucopia of Eejits of History we have for you this week. It's Eejits of History time again, ladies and gentlemen. We have the Eejits of Italian Revolution.
we have the Eejits of the Wool family history.
Personal. And finally, we have the Eejits of ancient Greek mythos.
Yes.
Are you ready for your first story, Mr. Glenn?
Suck it to me.
From the history of Eejits?
Yes.
Right. Well, let us begin. And what a year! We speak of none other than 1848.
Oh, yes.
The year of revolutions.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most seismic dates in European history, where seemingly spontaneously many peoples all across the continent rose up against their tyrannical overlords in France, in Germany, in the Austro-Hungarian Empire, which I think was just the Austrian Empire at the time. But it all started in Italy.
Mamma mia.
A dear friend of the show. We're going back to Italy. Now, 1848 was the year of revolutions. So it's already, it's a great firmament. There's a lot of people, the revolutions that came from 1848 gave rise to nationalism, ultimately the unification of Italy, the unification of Germany, the collapse of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. You know, there's a lot of people were imbibing the ideals of the French Revolution from 70 odd years beforehand. Right? It was all there. It was a tinderbox. But what all boxes of tinder ultimately need is a spark, Mr. Glenn.
Okay.
This is where it all started.
You know how to start fires.
I sure do. Oh, that was the confession I didn't need to make. Yes. But it all started. A whole continent on fire. Revolution. And it all started in Palermo in Sicily.
Really?
Yeah. All the attention is on Germany.
When a butterfly flapped its wings.
That's right. Very nice butterfly. I followed it into the edges. I tried to capture it with my charm.
Tried to seduce it.
Yeah. That's not the way you look. Come on, you look like a glitzy moth. You look like the strumpet of the flower bed. You look like a whore of the sky.
Still a better name than butterfly.
It is.
Such a gross name for a majestic beast.
Yeah, you didn't really think about it.
Yeah, the Irish didn't name them. I'll tell you that. They'd sound way better if the Irish had named butterflies.
That's right. Like I said, the whore of the afternoon. That's what we call them. Like a moth that would steal your husband.
All tarted up.
Look at you, trying to blend in with the azaleas. Trying to show the roses up.
You slut chameleon.
Exactly. That's right. He's flitting through the cabbage patch. Anyway, so let me set the scene for you. Palermo, Sicily. Sicily at the time, Italy doesn't exist as a nation state. It is merely a geographical expression.
It's a shoe. It's not even a boot yet.
At this stage, yes. There's no heel there.
No.
Much to the surprise of the people of Bari. Not, by the way, and by Bari, we're not talking about the dreadful seaside town outside Cardiff.
Yeah.
Or maybe we are. It's a good place, Bari.
A lot of Italians there.
Yeah, well, that's true. Maybe, hey, you have a Bari as well.
Just got on the wrong plane.
Anyway.
Coming home from Spain.
Well, that's what's interesting. You should mention that, Mr. Glenn, because there is a Spanish connection here.
Oh.
Because at the time, Sicily and pretty much all southern Italy was actually a kingdom known as the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies.
That sounds like an insult.
Sure, this guy's got two Sicilies.
Couple of Sicilies walked into the bar.
They said it was a kingdom. I don't think so. Anyway, but nevertheless, the people of southern Italy, right? They ruled in the kingdom of the two Sicilies under the House of Bourbon.
That sounds like a case. The curse of the two Sicilies.
Exactly. Well, it was cursed. To this day, they're still poorer than northern Italy. Mm-hmm. Now then, and that's all down to the House of Bourbon, who ruled over them. A Spanish-speaking tyrannical family. By far the most evil of all the biscuits.
Yes. I just feel bad if they couldn't speak Spanish. Like, you know, these evil rulers, and you're like, what are they? Well, we don't speak that language.
They're still there. I watched a documentary not long ago, actually, about Naples, and there's still old money families in Naples still speak Spanish.
Really?
Yeah. There you go.
There's Swedes in Finland who, Swedish Finns.
Yeah.
And they don't speak Finnish, but
I know.
they live there.
I know. I've met them.
I know.
They live in Espoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shocked me when I found that out. I was like, well, why wouldn't you just, no, we're Swedes.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you know you're in Finland. Yes, where?
Yeah. Yes, but we're on the part of Finland that looks at Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
There
we
you
will
go.
continue to.
But if you are going to be invaded by people, be invaded by beautiful people.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're unpleasantly attractive.
Yeah. Oh no, you didn't come here just to pillage, did you?
Well, there is a connection to Sicily, because obviously Sicily for a long time was ruled by the Normans. The Normans invaded England and Sicily in the exact same year, 1066.
Just those two places.
Yeah, it's weird as that. They skipped out all the rest of Europe. Yeah,
What an insult.
Yeah, it was William conquered England, and Roger conquered. I know.
At least we got William.
I know. Being conquered by the most louche man in the golf club bar.
Roger of the Normans.
Rogers. Exactly. Well, he was actually a wonderful king, King Roger. I think it was King Roger II. Yeah. So there you go. So that's the reason why many Sicilians to this day have blue eyes, including Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, that's their story, and they're sticking to it.
Now then, so what happens? It's just bonkers. And this is the thing that starts an entire year of revolution all across Europe.
Good, I'm all for it.
Right. So what happens is, on the 12th of January, right, Palermo exploded into violence. The revolution started.
It was the Boxing Day sales.
It's the special cannoli sale. People bring their cannolis to the town square.
And at a cut rate, you can get a cannoli for a very good price.
As long as you're willing to elbow out the tiny little woman.
Yeah.
Not easy. Maria, she is built like a weeble.
Yeah.
You elbow them, but they just wobble. They come back. None never actually fall over.
They based the fire hydrant off her. It wasn't invented yet until Maria.
I was going to say an Orangina bottle, but yeah. Anyway, so there you go. So it's the 12th of January, Palermo, Sicily, is when the whole pan-European revolution starts.
Okay.
And the reason why it starts then is because it's King Ferdinand II of the two Sicilies' birthday.
All right.
Right? So it's his birthday. Three days beforehand, right?
They realized they hadn't got him anything.
Shit. Get him a third Sicily.
I don't think he liked the second one.
I don't know. It's kind of strange. I don't know. But yeah, get him Sardinia. He like that. He likes islands. He likes islands. Islands full of seafood tagliatelle. Anyway, this is such a crazy little factoid about European history.
Yeah.
3 days beforehand, he was a sort of a journalist, activist, whatnot, called Francisco Banasco.
I already don't like him.
You don't like any man whose name, two names end in co.
No, just journalist, activist. Oh, come on, just write the story. I'll figure out whether or not you're right.
Give me the fact.
Yeah. I wouldn't go to his concert. A lot of talking between songs. Just play the fiddle, Francisco.
Come on, Frankie boy. Come on. Do the dance.
Yeah, you got an opinion. Why don't you make it rhyme and put it in a song? I'll listen to it then.
Just get to the chorus, you fucking boring freak. Anyway, so Francisco Banasco, there had been a bit of an uprising in the 1820s, and he was sort of veteran of that. And he knew everybody was already, it was quite a cruel regime. They were constantly taxing them, doing nothing for them in return. Yeah. And they had a massive cholera outbreak, which, you know what I mean? It's just, you shouldn't have cholera typhoid. It's just, if you got a cholera outbreak, your society's collapsed. You're not being looked after.
Water, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So the people were already on edge. They were already pretty angry anyway. Right? Yeah. Didn't want to be rude by these Spanish bastards.
And they have a disease that has kind of a nice sounding name, too.
Cholera? You think cholera is a nice sounding name?
Yeah, I do. Really? I do.
Would you name a daughter cholera?
Depends what you've done.
She gave me the shits for 9 months. That's why she's called cholera. And her brother typhoid. Anyway. So people, you got to remember, just there's already there's a lot of tension anyway in the city.
Yeah.
Right. 3 days before the king's birthday, Francisco Banasco, right, Mr. Journalist, sort of almost like as a prank.
Okay.
Right. Now bear in mind, he puts posters up all over the city, saying in 3 days' time we're going to have a revolution. We're going to take back everything, right? And then put them all over the city. We're going to take back the city. Get ready for revolution. Here comes the revolution, guys. And underneath it was signed by the Revolutionary Committee, right? The thing was, there was no Revolutionary Committee. There was no secret organisation getting ready for revolution. It was just Frankie. It was just Francisco. It was all just existing in Francisco's head.
Wow.
He wasn't even a one-man revolutionary committee. He had no intention of doing a revolution. He'd organised nothing. He was connected to nobody, right?
Wow.
But the posters went all over the city, right?
Well, he knew a poster guy then. He didn't do nothing.
All right, okay. But the point is it's
I know. Yeah, I get your drift.
Yeah, it's kind of politics on the level of Banksy. Right? Wow, yeah. It really makes you think. Do you know what I mean? It's that level of, huh, yeah. A fighter jet dropping love hearts. Huh, right? So
I get it.
Yeah, that's sort of the level that Francisco was going, right? It really makes you think. 3 days' time. Because everybody knew in 3 days' time was King Ferdinand's birthday.
Yeah.
Right? So it was sort of like a protest of, shit, you dickheads can't even keep cholera out of our water system. And now we're celebrating your birthday. Right? Yeah. But that was the level it was meant at, okay? Anyway, it gets around 3 days later. The 12th is now King Ferdinand's birthday, and the streets of Palermo were packed. I don't know whether they got a day off or not, or I don't know. But the point is, the city was absolutely heaving.
Right.
The authorities were really worried about these posters. Right? They were clearly edgy. So they had tripled the number of police and soldiers on the streets of Palermo. So the city centre, I don't know, it's a big piazza or a square, right? Where all the posters were, is where all the soldiers were. And all the cops were. They were all waiting for the revolution. But there wasn't one. But the streets were heaving, full of onlookers. Thousands and thousands of people from Palermo had showed up to the town square to watch the revolution.
Yeah, everybody, it's going to be a revolution.
Yeah.
You don't want to, in the back, this is when you couldn't record stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
You had to be there.
Yeah. You want to see the revolution?
Yeah.
The posters are up.
Yeah, you can't rewind the news back then like you can now.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just clip it. Right? So this is it. So there's all these thousands of onlookers show up, and they're all getting really excited and pushing and shoving to try and get to the front.
Jostling
each other to get to see the revolution. Right?
Yeah.
But obviously you jostle.
Well, it'd be the worst to get to the revolution and then just be behind Abraham Lincoln in his top hat. And then everybody's like, oh my God, did you see that revolution? No, I didn't see the revolution.
Of course I didn't see the revolution. I have this big-hearted freak in front of me. As you go back that night, he goes, maybe you see the revolution. Everybody's talking about it. I didn't see it. It's just some man's ass. In his tailcoat and his spats.
Why you don't stand at the back?
I didn't try to stand at the back. I was at the front and everybody pushing me to the back. I get there at 8 in the morning. I bring my cart of oranges into the city. I sell the oranges as usual. I make a bit of money. I think to myself, hey, come on, Giuseppe. Treat yourself. Go see the revolution.
Hang around.
Yeah. I'm at the front. Next thing, I'm at the side. Next thing, I'm back. I'm being pushed around. Like a little pinball. Bang, bang, bang. Right? So this is how there's thousands of people all shoving and jostling each other to watch the revolution.
Yeah, you get one chance.
Yeah, exactly, right? And nevertheless, it all gets out of hand.
Yeah.
Not because some revolutionary showed up, because as we've already said, they didn't exist. There's just a load of looky-loos who started shoving each other around.
It's like the crowd at a baseball game is now spilled on.
Exactly.
Just the baseball game is broke out. Just
yeah, exactly.
or like at a Rod Stewart concert, if the soccer balls actually led to a game of some sort.
Exactly.
You know Rod would stop the concert and join the game.
Oh yeah, he would. Yeah, he would. So they're all pushing and shoving each other. The soldiers are super edgy, and shots get fired.
Yeah.
And
the revolution started.
Exactly. It'd be the equivalent of like 50,000 people showing up in Wembley for a football game. That they've heard there's going to be a football game. There's no football game. 3 hours later, they've just ripped the bladder out of a man, and they're just kicking his bladder around.
I have been to Guns N' Roses concerts where I thought there's a chance the crowd's going to take over and have a concert.
It's because we're kind of sick of waiting.
Yeah. And he's there too. He's there when it happens. I've been there. I've talked to the bouncers, and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, he's back there.
He's back there playing Yahtzee."
Yeah. He's knitting. Sorry, I just want to get one of these. The sock is almost done, and then we'll
50,000 Guns N' Roses fans slow hand clapping while the band are just backstage playing Kerplunk.
Yeah, we gotta get. We're in a league. We gotta get this one done and marked so we can get it off to the statistical.
We're in the early 80s hair metal league.
Yeah.
At the moment, Skid Row are right out.
Yeah, sadly, there's less and less of us every year.
Just like Dunkirk. You know, one day they'll just have parades through town of the final hair metal.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so there's all this jostling, pushing and shoving. The soldiers are super edgy. Right? There is no revolutionaries. There's just a massive mob of curious
Fiery Italians, though.
people. What are you doing? Hey! You're not shoving me. I'm trying to watch violence.
Yeah, I can see them in my mind's eye. But yeah, they're always like mild mannered to a point, but then they're just fucking insane.
Yeah, nothing piss me off more than you when you shove me. I have cakes in a box. Just the whole fucking crowd, shit faced on limoncello. We've been drinking fucking lemon whiskey all day.
Yeah. That's right. Write that down. What happened here? Well, they all drank lemon whiskey all day in the hot southern Italy sunshine.
So a riot ensues, and violence breaks out, and ta-da! That's the start of the 1848 revolutions of Europe. It starts in Palermo, and it just like wildfire just catches on everywhere else. Because every other country's got actual revolutionaries waiting in the wings for something to happen. And that's it. All across Europe.
Yeah.
France, Germany, Austria, Italy, everywhere.
And there's no internet, so that like just word of mouth.
Yeah.
You know, Chinese whispers.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Palermo, they had the king and they'd strung him up and they were wearing his hat because it had been planned, and then it could happen here too. Really? Yeah, we could do it. Yeah. But
they did. They rose up for 16 months. They took control of the whole of the island. They actually did it.
But they had no plan.
No,
They had no plan in place.
I don't know if you've ever been to Italy. There's still no plan.
Yeah.
Other than for lunch. There is a plan.
You gotta think of something.
But yeah, so that's it. That's what started. And without 1848, we probably wouldn't have had the modern nation states of Germany and Italy and everything that flowed from that.
And the massive immigration from Italy into the United States.
Or more importantly, Germany. That's when the big wave of immigration from Germany to America happened.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, actually.
Yeah,
I just read a meme about that.
all across the Midwest of America. It's all because of some impatient people in Palermo. I want to see.
Giuseppe stepped on a toe.
Don't just step on my toe. The whole continent burns. To this day in Italy, the number 48 means a mess.
Wow.
And yeah. It's because it was just absolute chaos.
And do they, like, is it like superstition? Like, you don't have a 48th floor anymore?
We never got the 48th floor.
Yeah, actually, that's not the reason.
No, it means what a mess.
48.
Mace 48, whatever 48 is in Italian, it means, oh, what a mess.
Wow.
What an absolute bugger up.
Oh, yeah. If we hadn't had that, we would still have the pleasure of being ruled by a king. Oh, that was great.
A Spanish king.
A Spanish king.
Yes, but the whole thing is dovetailed by snacks, by biscuits, because it all happened because of the cruel Bourbons.
Yeah.
And then after 16 months, the Bourbons managed to take back control for a couple of years. And then they were overthrown by Giuseppe Garibaldi. The man, yes. The man that the Garibaldi biscuit is named after.
Wow.
Yeah.
And have the has the Oreo dynasty moved into this yet?
The Oreo dynasty. That fully sounds like a TMZ TV show. Living with Oreo.
Oh, what an illuminating slice of history. I didn't know any of that.
Yeah,
Thank
crazy.
you for bringing that in.
It's crazy. Just, yeah.
Yeah.
From a void, something was created. So there you go.
I know. And, you know, usually you have to shoot an archduke or something.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's like usually an assassination or a fire or a tax riot. Not onlookers.
Bored.
Bored
Where's
onlookers.
this riot gonna start?
Oh, come on, who's going to start? So great.
Finding a new job is stressful. But with Indeed, it doesn't have to be. Just fill out your Indeed profile with your skills, experience, and desired salary. The more you fill out, the better your matches will be. And hearing from hiring managers will be 2 times more likely. Relax. That's your Indeed profile sending opportunities your way. Indeed, the world can work better.
Do you have a piece of history for me, Mr. Glenn?
I do, and it's a piece of personal history, but it's something that my mother told me. My mom and dad were just in town and telling stories, and just very randomly, she's from Yellowknife in the Northwest Territories. That's where she was born and raised.
Right.
Yeah, it was very remote.
Yellowknife.
Knife.
Okay. Right. I don't want to unpack that one.
It was a First Nations word, and that's how much gold was up there. Is that they?
I see.
They didn't do a great job of hiding it either. It's named the place Yellowknife. I think I know where the gold is.
Don't come to Shiny Town.
Yeah. But she told a story to me about the 60s. The highway came through. That's when it finally connected Yellowknife to the rest of Canada. It was so remote and up in the north. They had roads, but they didn't connect to anything.
What?
Yeah.
So how did they get there?
By plane. By plane in the summertime. I don't even think they could fly in the winter. Maybe they could. But this road, they connected them finally to the rest of the world. And she said the whole town sort of felt connected to the rest of the world. It was big news.
Yeah.
And not the first car that came up there, but very certainly one of the first ones was 4 Chinese guys, like from China.
Chinese people.
Chinese people had never been that far north, had never been to Yellowknife, didn't know what they were getting into. They were immigrants.
Right.
And bearing in mind that these were the first Chinese people that some of the people in that town had ever seen, like we're aware that they existed, but had never seen one in person.
You'd have to be pretty isolated to not know Chinese people exist.
No, they knew they existed, but this is the first live Chinese person they've ever seen. So
Why did you say live?
Yeah,
Added a layer of darkness.
Yeah, they had a few stuffed ones come through town. Mister. It's the traveling races show.
Come see the magic of modern science. Come get your skull measured.
Some dusty top hat, looking good, but just a glass monocle.
Have you heard of Shanghai? Right. Anyway, so
Yeah, got him on a spring load.
what?
Just the corpse on a spring load. Yeah, finally got to see a live one.
Right. So yes,
these 4 guys showed up into town, and like with that weirdness involved, what vehicle do you think they could be in that would even add to the mystique of all of this.
Ice cream van.
No. A pink Cadillac.
Wow.
4 Chinese guys show up into town in 1960s Yellowknife in a pink Cadillac. Well, people noticed. I'm sure the police station got a few calls that day. Yeah, no. It's real. We don't have to go down to the brewery and check their levels. No. What you're seeing is actually what's happening.
No, don't worry. It's not a hallucination.
No.
They paint cars pink down south.
I guess.
Right.
I guess.
You're down by the border.
Yeah, down by Lacombe.
Oh, they got a lot of pink Cadillacs.
Yeah.
So
these guys, they've just they show up into town. They open a restaurant. It's one of it's a lovely restaurant. It's clean. It's wonderful. And then they branched out into to a shop. They opened like a grocery store, which broke the monopoly on the Hudson Bay Company. Yeah, the Bay was the only shop in town until these 4 Chinese guys showed up, opened a shop, lowered the prices. The shop was absolutely great, and people loved them. But then it was found out that they were illegal immigrants.
Right.
And the government tried to send them back to China, but the whole town rose up and were like, no way, you're not getting rid of those guys. We like them. They're our buddies. They live here now. And don't you take them away, because we'll fucking do ya.
Don't you take away Discount Dave? Bargain Billy?
Yeah, so they rose
Half
up.
Price Harry?
Yeah. Yeah, come to think of it, it probably had something to do with the lower prices.
Right.
Well, we don't want to run the shop ourselves, so, but...
I got a real soft spot for 2 for $1 Tony.
So, yeah.
But to put this into context, the Hudson Bay Company was the original English colony in Canada from 400, 300 years beforehand.
Yeah, impervious to anything but 4 Chinese guys in a pink Cadillac.
Amazing if they just showed up in a normal car. Fuck off, assholes.
Yeah.
They're pink Cadillac. These are some high rollers.
Oh, let's see what they're going to do. And that's when they got you.
Half price for a bucket.
Yeah.
Wow. So,
but that's not where the story ends. For the Wool family connection because one of the guys in it, the reason I know this whole story is because he just passed away. His name was Raymond Pond.
Right.
And my mom told me that story. And my dad had told me another story earlier, and he didn't even know Raymond had died. Right. He was just telling me this story of the North, and it was when my dad was a police officer up there, and a Mountie, and he got made into an investigator, and his first case that he ever had up there had been a robbery, which was it was unheard of.
Yeah, I mean, you can rob people in a small northern Canadian town, but they will see your footprints in the snow. Right? There isn't going to be a lot of hiding your escape.
Well, this one was they'd robbed the safe, so it was an inside job. They'd robbed the safe of one of the mining companies. Right. Somebody had got in and taken a sizable amount of gold and cash from the safe. Not golden cash, but
golden cash,
golden money. And my dad had no leads, and it was his first big case, and the only sort of lead he had is that no one had left town.
Ooh, intrigue.
Yeah, because you think about it, there was
this is full Hercule Poirot.
Yeah,
Okay.
except my dad he wasn't sure what he was going to do, but he always had dinner at this Chinese restaurant, the Chinese restaurant that these guys had opened, and he said it was
Well, it'd be frankly weird if they didn't.
Yeah. They were doing fish tacos.
It was Barbara and Lindsay McCoy opened it, eh? Well, Barbara, I don't think you know much about rice.
No. So anyway, my dad's going there every night, and he's trying to, and they know he's a police officer, and he'd caught a bunch of pickerel, like too much that he could eat, and he gave it to them and said, like, I'm not going to be able to finish it. And he said that they were really, really. That's how he sort of made friends with them, by giving them this big bag of fish. So they were really happy with them, and he was always coming in there and eating, and he's got his first big case, and they put his meal down that night. It was always the same, but he said this time there was an origami swan on his tray.
Okay.
And it was like nobody. It wasn't. They didn't do that all the time. So he was like, What's going on? And he sort of opened it, and in it said room 356, because there was a hotel attached to the restaurant. Oh. And he went up and checked on room 356, and there was all of the money, and he was able to wait for the guys to come back. Because I guess they knew, but they didn't want to, they didn't want to rock the boat by going into the police station, so they just gave it to him on a swan.
Wow, this is the most Chinese way to snitch I've ever heard.
Yeah,
so let's put it right. Let's write inside an origami swan.
Yeah,
wonderful.
Well, and then that's what I also wonder too. Like, what if he hadn't opened the swan? Would they have to keep like trying to more and more trying to? Hey, order 356 is up.
Stop swanning around the town. If you stop swanning around, you'll find that the case will unfold itself.
Thank you. That's good advice. I guess I do. I guess I am a bit of a peacock. Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah. Got a lot of wisdom, you Chinese people. Silly old gooses.
It's not a goose.
It's a swan.
Okay.
It's very
well. It's whatever I want it to be, okay? So if it looks like a goose, I'll call it a goose.
Yeah. Well, there you go. And so who was it then?
Just some guy who worked for the company that they couldn't leave town because it would have been really obvious. But their downfall was they kept going out and drinking, and Well,
that could go for a lot of people, to be honest.
Yeah.
So you just kept going out getting pissed.
Yeah, I think there was a few of them though. I think it was like a sort of 3-man crew or whatever. But it was my dad's first big case, and he solved it by bribing Chinese guys with fish.
I think you find if you read all of Agatha Christie, that's pretty much how all the cases are solved.
What a horrible book that would be. And it was always like, it's obvious whoever he gives the fish to is going to know who the murderer is and tell him, I gave a sturgeon to a young Indian boy.
So not necessarily full races, but still slightly out-of-date terms. Yeah. The case of the 4 Chinamen. Oh. All right, I got that.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Well, yeah, they had to change that. It was that happened in my lifetime. 12 Little Indians.
Yes.
I think it's called something.
That's what I was alluding to.
All right.
Apparently a very good book. I don't know.
It was. I read that. I did. I had to in school. That's how I knew they changed them.
I see. You read Agatha Christie in school?
Yeah.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
It's a Canadian difficult school, not Irish.
I was being bored with the work of Graham Greene. Anyway, so, Are you ready for more history of Eejits?
I am.
I don't really see where the Eejit is in that story. I like it, though.
Well, they're trying to kick him out. The Hudson Bay Company is the Eejit in that.
Yeah,
that was the heartwarming part to me. That was the like, people are blaming immigrants for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Right now.
Well, they snitch on criminals. They ride around in pink cars. They take fish in lieu of payment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can see why.
Yeah.
That's a good story, man.
Thank you.
The heartwarming tale of rural survival.
Mm-hmm.
Now then, are you ready for another Aegis?
Yes.
All right. Now then, we are going to the world of mythos.
All right. Is that a Greek island?
Oh, you're close, my friend. Because my
It's
friend,
a Greek peninsula?
it's actually an isthmus. You find it's an isthmus.
Or a K?
Well, no, my friend, we are going to the world of Troy.
The guy?
Yes. Let me regale you for the next 20 minutes about the backstory of Troy McClure. He would have liked your fish story.
Yeah.
He sure would. Yes. Troy.
Well done. Yeah, it is true. Yeah.
Troy. So this is obviously Troy, as in the Trojan horse. Mm-hmm. This is the story of the Iliad.
Yeah.
Helen of Troy, the most beautiful woman in the world. She gets kidnapped. The Greeks lay siege, the Mycenaean Greeks of the Bronze Age, they lay siege to Troy. Right?
Yeah.
To
I would have wanted to look at her before I joined that army. It's just like, oh, she's, because you see like those old paintings of royalty and they're like, she was the fairest in the land. They couldn't even make a good painting of her, let alone.
Jeez. Wow. What a land of pigs you're from. So, yeah, there's still to this day, isn't it? There's always the royal correspondent in British presses. Oh, she's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Majesty was so beautiful when she was radiant.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And you go, solid 6.
Yeah.
You know, nothing wrong with her. Nothing wrong.
No.
But
Yeah.
But nevertheless, by fame, Helen of Troy was the most beautiful woman in the world.
Okay.
The face that sets sail.
But there was only 49 people back then.
Yeah, right. And 50 of them were dudes. I guess it's been like the most beautiful female prison guard, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, don't propose to her in here, because when you get out in the world, she's not the way you think she looks.
Oh, that 8's gonna fucking split ourselves into 2 4s. Anyway. So yes, this, as I'm sure you know, this the first founding work of major literature in European civilization is the Iliad,
Yeah.
which were from whence all the tales of Troy and Helen of Troy and Achilles, Agamemnon. He was King Agamemnon. I've never been able to pronounce it. Anyway, the point is, this is all the story that was written by Homer.
Right.
Yeah, I know, it's so weird in our generation knowing The Simpsons.
Yeah. I didn't even take it. It was so obvious.
The greatest literature in European civilization was written by Homer. Oh, Homer. So there's the Iliad, and that's all in there, right?
Okay.
This great epic poem. And, I'm sure you know, everybody knows. I mean, this is foundational to European civilization. The Greeks were, in the story, are laying siege to Troy for years to try and get Helen back, who's inside Troy, I believe. And the Greeks finally get the better of the Trojans by giving them a gift of a giant wooden horse. But in fact, inside the horse, and the Trojans like, shit.
Yeah, why did they even need that? Like, were they playing giant chess? And lost a piece?
I don't know. I have absolutely no idea.
Like, if I was having a war with somebody...
You're being laid siege to for years.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, we got you this horse. Everything... I don't want a big horse. I want you to fuck off.
Yes, Your Majesty. I have to tell you, as the 7th year of the siege, our food supplies are running down. Our water wells underneath the castle are sadly being depleted. Only brackish water is coming forth from the well. And most importantly, all our jockeys are becoming very frustrated. If only an arch enemy would gift us one giant wooden horse. Just really so the jockeys could chill out for a bit. Anyway.
Was it the demand?
I don't think they didn't even request it.
Negotiation?
As far as I know, the Greeks just rolled up with a giant wooden horse, and the Trojans were like, "Hell, no, we haven't opened these gates in years, because those punters out there, they would absolutely kill us, because we've stolen their hottest chick."
Yeah.
It's a big wooden horse, and they brought it in, and as everyone knows, there were Greeks inside the horse, and they all poured out, and that's the reason why we've got Trojan condoms.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense on that.
It really doesn't. It's a really bad name for a condom. It's like a condom that in the night the spunk will escape from. Right?
Well, maybe it's like means this is for tricksy people.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the brand of condom with a pinhole at the end. Eh? Like knocking up one night stands.
Yeah.
Like a Trojan. Anyway, yes, so there's your backstory. So that's it. That's the Iliad.
Right.
Right. Now, where Troy was believed to be was the other side of the Aegean Sea from Greece. Right? What is now the modern nation state of Turkey. Right? In the Dardanelles. The Dardanelles are the very thin, narrow strait that leads to the Sea of Marmara, that leads on to Istanbul, which obviously used to be Constantinople, right? Mm. And to this day, the Marmara region of...
Did they change it?
Who?
Istanbul.
It's nobody's business but the Turks.
Yeah, why did it get the works?
But obviously it was extremely, valuable. Now, there'd always been rumours, but basically we know in records that the Iliad was famous for 1,000 years, right? As a piece of literature. So the Romans were really into it as well and venerated it as something ancient. Even 2,000 years ago when the Romans were kicking around, the Iliad was already thousands of years old.
Wow.
Right. So they knew that in Roman history that they would go to this site somewhere along the Dardanelles and once a year pay homage to Homer and the Iliad and all the rest of it. But from the 6th century...
Is that where homage came from?
Quite possibly. Yeah, maybe.
Wow.
Maybe. I don't know. It's not maybe.
Yeah, I was kidding, but
hey,
maybe.
Hey, you might have said something clever by accident.
I knew what I was saying. Shut up.
Shut up, you. Shut up, doofus. I know my ancient Greek history, you fucking asshole. Jason and the Argonauts is in the fucking Odyssey, you dumbass. Anyway, but from 6th century AD, poof, no other records of Troy. Right? And it for 1,200, 400 years, whatever, people just thought Troy was a myth. Okay? So that's where we are. So that's the backstory. Now then, in the Victorian era, it was the start of archaeology. People realised that you could dig things up and there would be treasure in there and there might be,
Better than R. Kellyology. We'll get into that.
My mind's telling me no. But these stolen chalices and goblets are telling me yes. I want to steal from this esophagus. And plunder your tomb.
I'm glad you knew some R. Kelly songs. All I could do is get you there and let you...
I don't see nothing wrong with a little plundering. Anyway, so now it's a Victorian era, and this is amongst posh men. This is becoming quite a popular thing, digging things up, excavating.
It was easier back then. There was more of it, and it was closer to the surface.
Yep. And there was no health and safety, and nobody was in charge. You could do what you wanted.
Yeah, it was like being a serial killer back in the 50s. Okay, well...
Was there? I mean, there wasn't even a way. We wrote your name down on a docket. Don't do it again. They're gonna be Christ.
That's why you had to hang people back then, because there was just no way of okay, we're gonna let you go. Are you gonna do it again? No, I promise I won't.
Not me, governor.
Yeah, I will definitely won't go over to the next village and change my name. I haven't done that 12 times before.
You won't see me hanging around Strangler's Alley anymore, sir. I've handed in my card as a member of the Garrotters Guild. Anyway, they had an idea of where the actual town was, called Ilium. That's the reason why the Iliad's called that. It's named after the town of Ilium.
Right.
And
It's like in Beirut, the name, the Bible is from Biblios.
Byblos, yeah, the Christian city to the north.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. You're right. You're fucking right.
I know.
Yeah. So the Victorian era, there's an English explorer called Frank Calvert, right?
Okay.
And he's spent some time out there. Him and his brother had a business out there, and they'd heard these rumours about Ilium, right? And it had always been placed one place along the Dardanelles coast. But he realised that, hang on, there will have been loads of, tidal, where this ancient city will have been.
Erosion.
The other one.
Pro-rosion. He's got a wonderful podcast, by the way.
Pro-rosion. Gets all his buddies on, they all get high. Yeah. Bunch of wine, throws a conspiracy note in. Now, don't you be talking about our arch rival podcast.
Yeah.
Anyway. So he reckons it'll actually be inland. What was once the coast, it'll have been pro-roaded.
Yeah.
Silted up.
That makes sense.
It makes sense.
It makes sense.
So
I like his logic.
There's this massive mound in a town called Hisarlik, which is the only two options I give an audience.
Is that why you've told this whole story?
I just knew when I heard the name of the town. I know a fella will find a joke in there.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so he finds this town Hisarlik, and it has what is called a tell. A tell is this giant mound.
Oh, right.
And he was like, I think that's probably right there on the Dardanelles, inland.
Is that what Attell's last name means? Dave Attell?
Possibly.
Yeah.
But it's
All right.
maybe. So there you go. So he starts excavating, right? Scratch around the surface, and he's going, God, I think I'm onto something here. And then the Crimean War breaks out, right? And then it's just he runs out of money.
Or there was a year that it wasn't going on. It breaks out. It's it goes out for about a year. It's like a tire fire. The Crimean War is never over. It's always
no. It's all bubbling underneath.
Yeah.
So there's a stop, right? Now, in the meantime, it is time for the main character, because by God, he believed he was the main character in his entire life. He is the Eejit of our story.
All right.
Oh, yeah. I speak of none other than Heinrich Schliemann. And let me say, he's not as nice as he sounds.
Dear Lord.
Heinrich Schliemann. Heinrich Schliemann was a genius businessman.
No, just give this to me in Schliemann terms.
Terrible. Anyway, Heinrich Schliemann was a self-made multi-millionaire. I guess he'd almost be like an Elon Musk type of, I need attention all the time, I'm the most important person in the world. Right? He was a genius. He genuinely was. He was a polyglot.
Okay.
He spoke 15, 20 languages fluently. He travelled, he made all his money in the gold rush in California, bilking people on the price of their gold dust.
That's the only way you make money in a gold rush. It's not prospecting. It's ripping people off or supplies.
Yeah, selling shovels.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So he made loads of money on bill. He had to skedaddle out of California. He then went to Russia, and he made even more money selling gunpowder to the combatants in that same Crimean War.
Both sides?
I don't know. Okay. I mean, He's the sort of fella that's definitely a both sides kind of guy.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, Heinrich Schliemann. And he makes so much money, he retires at 36. So he must be the equivalent of a billionaire. Or, you know, certainly he's absolutely loaded. And he decides he gets it in his head that he's going to dedicate the rest of his life and his fortune to discovering Troy.
Wow.
Right? That's what he's decided. He's a man of many passions and interests, but this is the one that really takes him. He's going to find the real Troy. Right. Now, up to this point, Troy is like, it's just a made-up place.
Right.
It's like Hullabaloo town.
So he's looking for the Yeti.
Yeah, 100%. That's the level that it's at. Everybody's like, you're an idiot. You're retiring at 36, an equivalent of a billionaire, and you're literally, you know what I mean? It'll be the equivalent not now of a billionaire going, I'm going to go to the moon and start a moon base. It would be the equivalent of a billionaire coming on TV going, I'm going to go to the moon and I'm going to kick the shit out of those cheese aliens. I'm going to get all that moon cheese, bring it back down here, so we don't have to make cheese anymore.
All right.
Right? It's that level of people are like, you're an idiot, right?
Okay.
So he gets it. He hears about this guy Frank Calvert, who's already started his things, and he now knows that it's in Hisarlik. It's this mountain of Hisarlik, and he goes along there. Right? All right. He goes along, and what does he do? He starts digging.
Like right beside the guy?
No, Frank's.
What are you doing? Nothing. You're not looking for Troy, are you? No.
I'm looking for Boy.
That's a different establishment.
This particular part of the Eastern Mediterranean is really easy to find.
Yeah. That's two roads over.
No, I don't really know whether the relationship is there, but he now knows that this is where it is.
Okay.
Right, because of all the effort Frank Calvert had put into, working it out. So he's there, shows up, starts digging. Oh my God. There's pottery, there's signs of life.
The ear of a massive wooden horse.
There's a giant receipt of a wooden horse, please, sir. There's lots of condoms. But only an American brand.
Yeah. Strange.
The legend of the Durex is for next week. The tale of the ribbed condom. Gather round.
For your pleasure.
What happened was, one of the members of Duran Duran split up. He wanted to play safe for a couple of months on the road. So the keyboardist invented his own brand of condom. That's stupid. Anyway, so he's discovered this. Now bear in mind this is like a giant hill.
Yeah.
Right? Massive. He's bang on. The guy's bang on. Oh my God, look at this. Dig, dig, dig. Holy shit. I found Troy. Guess what he does?
I don't know.
He's just found Troy.
Yeah.
He's found Troy. Thing that everybody thought was mythical. He's now found it, right?
He tells two friends.
I know. He blows it up.
Did he?
Yeah. He didn't mean to blow it up.
Oh, okay.
He thought he was being an archaeologist. But it was the start of the thing. He knew nothing. Like, to this day, everybody in ancient history archaeology hates Heinrich Schliemann. He blew a trench through the whole thing. That's still called the Schliemann Trench to this day. Right? He keeps blowing it up, going down and down and down, till he finds treasure.
Wow.
Right? He finds treasure, and it's golden pots, and there's the equivalent of crowns and all this sort of stuff. He takes all of this on the road. He goes, look, it's King Priam in the Iliad. King Priam is the the king of the Trojans. And he was like, I found King Priam's treasure. Right? And he shows it all around Europe. right? He shows it all around Europe, and it's a huge hit. And obviously, he completely cuts Frank Calvert out of the history.
Good.
I found it. It was all me. Very Elon Musky style. Travels, and obviously he's fluent in all these languages, so he becomes really famous. And eventually he donates all the stuff. He dedicates it to the German museum. Now, how does that happen? Oh, yes. He smuggled it all out of the Ottoman Empire. His first thing was, oh my God, I found all the ancient shit of Troy. Smuggles it out.
No, these are my crowns. I came with them.
I always have a hunting hat. I always have a hat for a specific hat for being a chimney sweep.
Yeah.
In Baden-Württemberg. I also have a bowler hat when I want to ingratiate myself with.
For every language, I
have a hat, exactly. And in this case, for the Turkish people, I have 3 hats of gold. None of them fit me because my head has grown bigger. Smuggles it all out to Greece, launches it in the newspapers. The Ottomans go absolutely nuts at him. He eventually donates it to the museum in Berlin, the National Museum, right? And that's where these treasures stayed, King Priam's golden hoard.
Yeah.
Until the end of the Second World War, when the the other Nazis, the Soviets.
The worst than the Nazis.
Yeah, I think it's a dead heat of cunt. in my historical analysis. Anyway, the Soviets invaded Berlin, and they nicked it all.
Wow.
And until the fall of the Soviet Union, they always lied about having it, the Russians.
They can't help themselves with that.
Maybe I would tell the truth if I was sober. But I'm never sober. Right? So,
Unfortunately, we won't be able to do this test.
The laboratory conditions will never happen.
No.
As I put vodka on my Frosties.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So it turns out that, it's in the early 90s, they admitted they actually had all this, the golden hoard of Troy. And it is now in the Pushkin Museum to this day in Moscow.
Wow.
But here's the crazy thing, right? After that, actual archaeologists started showing up, right? And carbon date, obviously you can carbon date now, but like professionals that weren't, just billionaire dickheads like Heinrich Schliemann, right? And it turns out there's actually 9 cities. The whole of this mound, Hisarlik, is 4,000 years old, right? And there was basically 9 completely different cities were built one on top of another.
Wow.
Right? So that's how they refer to it, this Troy 5, Troy 7, Troy 2. And he had blown a hole all the way down to Troy 2, this Bronze Age city that was actually over 1,000 years older than the Iliad. And he went looking for the Iliad city, but he blew a giant hole in it because that was Troy 7.
Wow. And were all the other Iliad books in every city? Turned out it was like Harry Potter.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, the Iliad and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah, all of them. There's Troy 6 was a sentimental age. That was just a Mills and Boon novel.
Yeah, that was the one. It's like this, the Wire, when there's that one where they're in the harbor. They really connect with the rest of it.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense. You mean series 2 of The Wire?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Iliad. That was Troy 9. Rubbish. But there's like evidence of 2 of them. There's of 2 burnt cities. Oh, it's astonishing. It's all there. Like it was real all along. And sadly, he blew it up.
Wow.
Crazy.
So
Crazy.
If there's any hills out there, just that could be anything. Don't blow them up, kids. If you're blowing up hills out there, please stop.
Stop. Just if there's any lesson to be taken from Eejits of the World history,
Yeah.
Don't blow up hills.
Knock it off.
Just scratch on the side
with a nice brush and see if there's a bowl under that dirt.
Yeah. Then slowly remove that one bowl. Just keep living there.
Yeah.
Just keep doing it.
No, then you have to put string on a square around it. That's what I know about archaeology. It all needs to be stringed off once you see something. Is that a knuckle? Whatever. Oh, get the string out.
Yeah, that's an anal bead. Get the other string out. Yeah. So it's there to this day. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Awesome. Well, let's all go there.
Let's all go there and let's swan our way through the dynamited Slayman Trench.
See, I think that is the beauty of humanity right there. I mean, it sucks that Slayman did that, but that shows us who we are. That's what should be protected, the Slayman Trench, because that's who we are.
Yeah.
That is the.
All 9 civilizations that lived on that hill, they didn't give a bollocks about the city underneath them. They just flattened it and started again.
Yeah, they got on with getting on.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lesson in there for all of us.
We don't know what that lesson is,
No.
but it's in there.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Tweet us when you figure it out.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There's the history of Eejits.
Yeah. There we go. We got another episode done. I think we'll wrap it up there, yeah?
Oh, I would have thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe the next history episode we'll do about the Eejits of Hollywood.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us once again on Eejits of the World History with him,
Glenn Wall and you.
Andrew Maxwell. There's new episodes on audio every Wednesday. Then it's on YouTube every Saturday.
Yeah.
All the clips.
The clips, like and subscribe, and comment in any language you like. But if you want to see us in person, if you think we're AI generated, wrong. And if you've got money on that, we're not. Well, you bring your doubting friend to the Cheerful Earful podcast, and then you'll see us live.
Yeah, Cheerful Earful Comedy Podcast Festival, which is on the 20th of October.
I couldn't remember that.
Well, now I have done, and now we've all remembered. It's
4 days after my dad's birthday.
Just remember that. That's how you remember. It's in Ballon, South London. We'd love you to come along and join us. Thank you very much. It's been a Pod People production.